Right, so number 17 we have Earwig and the Witch. So you guys are probably still pissed off about the whole Mononoke thing, right? And you're probably gonna be even more pissed off about the fact that I'm putting this movie above Princess Mononoke. I'm going to die, aren't I? But let me explain my reasoning for it. So everybody that I've seen on the internet absolutely despises this movie. They're like, oh, this movie doesn't look like Ghibli. Ghibli is supposed to be hand-drawn animation. This is a disgrace. If Miyazaki was dead, he'd be rolling in his grave. Goro, what the fuck are you doing? So, the reason why Goro made this movie is because he wanted to experiment with new technology. And like I said in the previous video, he loves doing that shit. He's always trying to experiment with the new, unlike his dad, who's more traditional. I mean, if it ain't broken, am I right? But the thing is, it's not, but the hand is, like, hand animation does take a lot of time to draw. Like, that's the argument that a lot of people made, is like, oh, the studio is being lazy. Goro made a lazy decision. He wants to do 3D animation because that takes quicker. But dude, you need to consider something. I think this movie took, what, 4 years to develop? That's a really long ass time. And most of the time that it took was because Goro and his team were learning how to use this kind of new animation. So it does take a lot of work as well. I highly doubt that Goro made this for the sake of just, oh, it's faster. They spent years making this movie. But that aside, how good is this movie? So I'm guessing that because they spent a lot of time in the development of the animation, they kind of forgot that the story also was supposed to be an important factor, right? Because the truth about this movie is that it's kind of boring as well, but I'll give you this. The movie is an hour and 20 minutes long, so it is digestible. It's lacking a lot because a lot of what happens in this movie is very slice of life-y. It's Earwig learning to adapt to this new environment in her new house and learning how to cope with her witch mother and all of that mumbo jumbo of her learning magic and whatnot. But the thing is that we focus so much of her learning how to adapt in the house and learning trying to learn spells because her mom doesn't really want to teach her, and she's trying to get higher in the hierarchy of the house so that she can control everybody better like she used to do at her orphanage and all that crap. So because we spend so much time with the slice of lifey elements, we don't really get a story. If you see the poster here, you see that Earwig is singing in the mic, but she doesn't show any interest in singing at all. The reason why she's singing in the mic is because there is a plot in the movie that the witch used to be in a band with the mandrake who she lives with. It's not really clear if they're a thing or not. I don't think they are, but I digress. So, they used to be in the band, and basically Earwig is trying to revive that interest in them. And there is this, red witch as well, which is, Earwig's mom. That's not really a spoiler because it happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie. You can see the witch clearly. And speaking of the witches, dude, look, I know that you guys probably ran out of budget or I don't know what, but look at these witches. Do they look different to you? The hair is literally the same hair. One is blue, one is red. That's it. They look exactly the same. Couldn't go to pay someone to design a different witch? For fuck's sake. Why did they have to look the same, dude? It's super, I don't know, dude. It felt like lack of effort, or it's oh fuck, we were paying so much attention to the animation that we completely forgot about designing the damn witches, you know? And that's just really lackluster. Not to mention the fact that the whole setting of the movie is this house. And in comparison to other Ghibli movies where there's these magical lands that are full of shit to you to explore, it's just a house and these 3 characters. So it's like a tiny space, right? So maybe Goro picked this tiny space because they were experimenting with the new technology, but yeah, this movie was just an experiment. It didn't feel like a real Ghibli movie in that sense. Like, I feel like, I don't know, they could have studied, right, the technology, but if they wanted to make a really good new movie, then they should have given this one more time to actually develop the story, or they should have adapted something else, because the truth of the matter is that this movie ends in this cliffhanger, right? And in this cliffhanger that things are actually seem that they're gonna get more interesting, and then stops. The movie ends and you're like, that's it? Like, it was kind of slow in the beginning, but then you finally are giving me some interesting crap and then you just ended there? Like, come on, dude. I feel like whoever wrote this script, like, they're the real failure in this movie. Like, if they had written a better script, then it could have succeeded. But all of that aside, let's talk about the animation again. Because there are all of these debates that this doesn't look like a Ghibli movie, the designs look like it, but it's missing that Ghibli magic because it's just not the same. And I was gonna say to an extent, but the truth is that I mostly agree with that. However, I will say one thing that probably is controversial, and that's the fact that this is the best 3D animated anime I've ever seen. And yes, I have seen Land of the Lustrous, and I have seen clips of Beastars. I fucking hate those animations. I know that everybody and their mother is like, oh my god, Studio Orange makes immaculate animation. But honestly, it feels like sheep is just following the herd at this point, because it's either that or I'm stupid because I don't see it, to be honest. Like, to me, the animation in Orange Studio, I know that they work very hard, they are doing better than the competition, right? But it's just not good enough. Like, I honestly hate 3D anime. Like, to me, stylistic wise, it just sucks. But Earwig and the Witch actually, I feel like, did a pretty good job. It really feels a lot like a Westerner movie. If this didn't have the anime style to it, the animation quality feels a lot more like a Western movie than anime. But in that regard, the animation is good. It looks like a bit like the newest Lupin in the Third movie, which I haven't seen, but I have seen clips of it. But that being said, I honestly would prefer for Ghibli never to do this again. Ghibli is famous for its traditional, beautiful, hand-drawn animation. So I don't really want more 3D Ghibli movies. I mean, the public didn't receive it well for a reason, right? I mean, even though I like this animation, I think it's fine, I think it's good compared to other 3D anime. I still don't want more of it from Ghibli. I would be willing for, I don't know, Studio Orange to change their anime style, their 3D anime art, for example, and use this instead. For example, I don't know, if Beastars was animated like this, maybe I would watch it. But I don't know how that would work style-wise, to be fair. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this movie are, it's not as bad as everyone says. I feel like everybody's treating it with way too much crap. It's really not that bad. It's digestible, it's cutesy, it's simple, it's slice of lifey, and you can watch it and I wouldn't say it's an awful time. I don't particularly recommend it. I'm just saying it's not as bad as everybody is saying it is.